Greetings, gentlemen, and welcome to my first video. I am yet another of the growing legion of conscientious men who reject the status quo as it relates to our society and the treatment of men. If you're viewing this video, you likely already understand the depths of the problem. Misandry, that is, the hatred of men or the resentment of men, is generally condoned and often encouraged by our society via mass media and pop culture. So because of all this, women feel empowered to subjugate men by way of divorce, biased judicial systems and processes, anti-male legislation, and often overt ridicule. So what I want to describe to you today are some practical steps that we, as conscientious men, need to take to heart and implement in our lives so that we are part of the solution and not part of the problem. Our duties consist of the following. Find a good attorney to represent you against women. Women do not hesitate to invoke the law against men. They have attorneys at the ready, at the drop of a dime, to represent them against men, often when it's not even justified. So, we need to do the same, and even better. Consider your solo practitioners who are necessarily in the small towns or in the neighborhoods of your big cities who will be more inclined to take cases like this. Stay away from your big law firms if you can. They're more expensive and they're more interested in clients that are business related and big money and profit oriented than your smaller attorneys, who are often better attorneys, better litigators than the big attorneys or the big law firm attorneys. So find yourself a good attorney. A good attorney to me is like a good barber. You find a good one, you stick with them for many years, and you can have a very long, fruitful, and mutually beneficial relationship. Number two, gentlemen, don't hesitate and don't refrain from filing EEO complaints, or equal employment opportunity complaints, against women in the workplace. Every day, women are guilty of groping men, women are guilty of assaulting men, insulting men because of their manhood, discriminating against men in favor of other women who are less competent or who are less skilled, who have poorer evaluations than men. So these types of instances, and even more, I haven't even touched on a plethora of other bases that you can file legitimate EEO complaints against women. EEO complaints get institutions and employers to change their behavior. EEO complaints develop into lawsuits that can subject women and employers to having to pay you punitive damages or other types of damages for their time. Institutions don't like to pay money. So when these complaints go forward, institutions and employers like to modify their policies and behaviors, and you've done exactly what you need to do. Even if you lose the complaint or it doesn't turn out that it's founded, you have engaged the system and you've improved the workplace so that it's more fair vis-a-vis men and women. Very important, gentlemen. Don't refrain from using them. Just understand that with EEO complaints, you often have a very short window of opportunity. The law does not like these cases to linger for too long. So you have, I believe, up to 45 days after the occurrence of discrimination to file these complaints. After that, you lose the right to do so until the next transgression against you takes place. So be quick. Usually file these complaints within a week and you'll be okay. Number three, don't be afraid to file criminal charges against women. Women assault men. Women steal from men. Women commit any number of crimes against men, but men too often do not file complaints because often they feel the criminal justice system won't back them up vis-a-vis a female perpetrator, or jury or judge won't back them up. Don't necessarily assume that. Don't assume that. That's a false assumption in many cases. So you have to engage the system in order to get your civic grievance dealt with. So file criminal charges against women to hold them accountable. I tell you what, if you do that, that woman at least, will be less likely to commit the same act against another man. So do it. Number 4, file legitimate civil lawsuits against women, whether they're the anti-discrimination lawsuits I just mentioned, or something like the Section 1983 lawsuit, which is a lawsuit you would file against a state or a city or a county based upon discrimination of some civil servant against you. If a cop is unfair to you because you're a man and takes the woman's side, Section 1983 might be your resolution. And states, they do pay millions of dollars every year to people who are discriminated based upon or under color of state law, as they call it. So if you are ever discriminated against under color of state law, under the rubric of state law, see your attorney about filing a Section 1983 lawsuit. We should jump on these whenever a mangina cop takes the side of a woman unjustifiably. See your attorneys. Number 5, always offer your services as a witness against women in court. If you see a woman who subjugates or subjects a man to some type of discrimination, or subjects a man to violence, or subjects a man to anything unfavorable, offer your services to that gentleman and say, I'll serve as a witness. Here's my contact information. You can call me or have your attorney call me. This goes a long way. It's part of our duty to help each other, gentlemen. Do this. Often witnesses in complex cases are compensated in lawsuits. But even if you're not compensated, know that you're doing good by helping this man against a woman. We need to do this more and more, gentlemen. Number 6, never turn down jury duty. In fact, volunteer for jury duty. This is what we need to do to ensure the fair administration of justice without bias in relation to gender. Okay, women serve on juries, I think, in numbers disproportionate to men. Men are too busy too often. This is one of the most powerful civic duties we have as citizens. But we men too often say, jury duty sucks. And indeed, it does suck sometimes. But we have to do this to protect other men. Women get off too often in court because there are too few men willing to hold them accountable on a jury. Number 7, write letters to your federal and state legislators that represent you. Okay, these letters, which legislators take very seriously, often go a long way in getting the ball rolling to repeal legislation that is anti-male, or to let legislators know about laws that are not being administered fairly. But they need to hear from you. Not email, but letters. They take these seriously, gentlemen. For every letter they receive, they figure several thousand more people feel the same. So let's hold our elected officials accountable. Number 8, vote in all elections to ensure that feminists and manginas stay out. This is especially true in electing judges. Not all states elect judges, but many do. Vote. Number 9, last but not least, encourage other men to do all of these. Refer back to this particular video and use it as a resource. These measures, when done on a macro level, can change society, can rebalance the relations between men and women, and have a more just society and a more pleasurable place for us to live and for our children. Take these suggestions to heart, gentlemen, and I wish you all the best. Stay safe.